Welcome back to Yapping with Yaya. We took a break to enjoy our family for the Thanksgiving holiday, but we are back. I have a great show today. I'm here with actor, model, musician, vocalist Travis Reynard Moore, and we're going to talk to him about his projects that he's been involved in and upcoming projects, and just really give you guys some insight on Mr. Moore's life as a superstar, which I like to call him. And so, Travis, what's going on? What you have? What do you have for the people today?
First, I'd like to say hello and thank you for having me. I'm actually a part of greatness at the end of the day and at the beginning of the day. It's amazing because I get to deal with so many different people, unique people, like yourself.
Thank you.
So as far as the career, I've definitely been involved in some great things. I've met some really wonderful people that have pushed me to do more of the same.
Okay.
So, which leads me, and it's brought me here today to you.
Right, I stalked him, y'all.
She didn't stalk me.
To get him on the show. You know how we lurk on Facebook pages? I was lurking.
Social media is great.
So tell us about your most recent project, the movie that you were in.
So the most recent project was it was called The Present with Terry D. Films. The producer was Darrell Smith. We had the director LaShonda Gail Butler actually, and it was a movie that was based on truth. It was a faith-based film, and one that I was actually considered the leading male. I got the role actually through social media. Somebody knew somebody who knew somebody, and they checked me out and they asked me to come in and audition. I did and got the part. But it was a faith-based film that is what happens today in real life today. It was about a young lady whose parents died in a car accident. She was in a car accident with them, and she was the only survivor. And so at a very young age, her aunt took her in, and she raised her in church. And as it happens, fortunately and unfortunately, with some of our youth, they say, this is too much. There's got to be something else out there. Let me check out, see who else and what else is out there. So she decides to live life a little. And I'm not giving away the entire story, but as she lives life, she finds out that life is life. Life can hit you fast. So all of her foundation, thank God, was in her. And so she didn't stray away too far, but she met a guy, and I just so happened to be the guy, and I gave her a gift. And at the end of the day, it touched home on so many levels. So many, even now, I hear reviews and I hear people discussing it, and it's things that need to be discussed with our teens, with our young adults. How you need a foundation so you can come back to it if you decide to stray away.
Yeah.
So it was a very good, emotional, heart-wrenching movie, and it was good that I was able to play my part in it. I really say this to men all the time: know who you are, but it's not just limited to men. It's women too. Know who you are. Know who you are. Know what you will do, what you won't do, and surround yourself with people who think like you. So very good opportunity with Darrell Smith, who actually is from New York, and this was his first film that was shot in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
So he directed, he criticized, he did all of the things to mold us into the actors that we needed to be for his movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any more upcoming projects with him?
He is working on some things now, and he's making an attempt to reach out to some of the cast members for up and new projects for 2016. So
I'm sure we'll see you all over the billboards in 2016.
We'll see. Not limited to his work, but definitely want to support. And doors open every single time you do a project, because new faces see you, new ideas come, and you're motivated.
Yeah,
that's been my testimony.
And talking about your other projects, You know, I've seen you, and the world has seen you in some commercial ads.
Right, right.
Looking dapper.
It's different. It's different when you're in front of the camera and you're in the room with 2 or 3 people or 10 or 12 people. You really don't see what you're doing and the impact. But when your work gets out there and you hear different people discussing, oh, I grew up with him, or I knew him, or I know him, or wait, is that him? It adds fuel to the fire. It's almost, you almost appreciate the art even more. Especially when it's positive.
So what kind of commercial ads have you done?
I've done things for a lot of furniture companies locally. I've done some campaigns up in the Maryland, D.C. area with the Newports and I would say a lot of like the internal or internet for some of the businesses, new hiring, things like that. So part of those commercials, things like Ashley Furniture or Belk, things like that. And it's interesting because while you're taking these shoots and you're doing these ads, you never know where it's going to end. Sometimes they'll let you know, hey, we'll use you for 2 years. I've had people call me and say, I saw you on the side of a bus, and I didn't know they were going to use it for that. I saw you in a hair ad, or I saw you, and I said, wait a minute, when? Take a picture of it next time. So it's unique. I know my face and my brand is getting out there, but I appreciate the support from the viewers and from friends, family, and even people who don't know me. It's amazing to me when I'm out in public now, and it's always happened, but now that people see some of the work I've done, and they're looking at me as if I have something on my shirt, or I didn't smell right for the venue, and I'm saying, what did I do? And they say, no, it's you. It's the guy from, or I saw you here, and I have to, it's very humbling. It's very humbling. It's very humbling, but it's something that I'm learning to adapt to. And I'm human. I'm touchable. I'm here.
And talking about smelling, he is smelling awesome
Well,
here on the set.
Took a shower this morning.
But ladies, he's married, so just calm down. He's already taken.
I am.
So how is that with family life and juggling all that you do?
It's always, for me, it's a balancing act. I try to put the priorities first. Anything that I do, I make sure I run it by my boss, my wife.
Right.
To make sure she's comfortable with it. Because if she's not, it's not going to work. So if she gives me the green light, which she always does, I go with it and nothing else stops me. I have 2 little girls, and they really, really need a lot of my attention. So I make sure that I include them in my work. Whether it's daddy's going to do a casting for this, I need you to be my audience.
Oh, okay.
So they'll say, Daddy, that didn't sound good, or Daddy, maybe you should do this, or Daddy, let me be on with you, So it motivates me. But I'm realizing the balancing act really has to work for me. So, I put time in perspective. Make sure I'm spending time with my wife, making sure I'm spending time with the girls, and making them my priority. And then if I got to work late nights to make my dreams come true, I'll do whatever I have to do, So when it's funny you asked me that, because I can remember, I was in the banking industry for years, and I would, even with this last movie, I would leave work and then go on set for another 5, 6, 7 hours.
Wow.
And, for 2 or 3 months, and I would call my wife and make sure that the girls were okay, and then by the time I would get home, they would, of course, slobbering everywhere, snoring, knocked out, and I would have to wake them up and say, "Hey, Daddy's here. I just want to let you know." "Okay, Daddy, go to sleep." So it was and that was challenging for me, but at the same time, I knew I was doing it for a greater cause. So that was my motivation.
Yeah. So it sounds like Mrs. Moore is very supportive.
Yes, very much so.
And she keep you alive.
Yes, she does. She does. And I don't know any other guys or people in relationships I don't know how they do their, their tango, but for us, it has to. I mean, she's so supportive and so positive, and that's what pushes me. Because if she wasn't, I don't think I would be in a position today to be here. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Mrs. Moore.
Thank you, sweetie.
So tell us about the band that you're in and the instruments you play.
Yeah, so I've always, as a little boy, I've always wanted to play an instrument, and I can remember growing up. My mom, I used to tell her, Mom, I want to be a sax player. I want to be like Kenny G, so that they can call me Kenny T. And so I started
Kenny T.
Kenny T. Kenny Travis. Kenny T. I had a little weird way of responding to life, but so I wanted to really, really play saxophone because it looked very challenging. It was an instrument that a lot of people didn't know how to play, but it was unique in that everybody loved to listen to it. So I wanted to learn how to play. So I was behind a year or so when I had an opportunity. So I had to, because I started late. So I had to learn 1 or 2 notes from the band director, and then I had to go home and just practice. I mean, I didn't. Nobody patted me on my back. Nobody said you're doing a great job. I heard, you need to put that instrument in the case, and it's late. What are you doing? And I would tell my mom all the time, look, I need you to realize that one day you're gonna call me Kenny T and you love my music, Mom.
Well, I'm gonna speak into your life, Kenny T.
Yeah. So we pushed from there, and I realized that because of the work ethic and the rehearsals, the personal rehearsals, I got to a point where I was a decent musician, and I wanted to be a part of a group. So I started pulling different ones that I knew played, and we did it for a few years in college, and then I stayed with it in church, and I did what I had to do. And just last year, the band that we're part of now is called Lifted, and we pulled that band together from a wedding ceremony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wedding ceremony. We got together, and the guys were, they weren't money hungry. I'll say that because in this industry that happens, so
right.
they were just a group of guys that love music, and they wanted to play, and they were very supportive, and I could tell that they had heart, So we got together, and we're still together.
So let me get this straight. You were at a wedding celebrating nuptials, but you were networking at the same time?
We were actually, what's funny, we were actually, the keyboard player pulled us all together. We didn't know anything about each other. He said, hey, I know a sax player, I know a drummer, I know a bass player, a lead guitar player. So we got together for that one wedding, and then from there, I started talking to the guys then, and I said, hey, we could probably do this. They seemed to be pretty receptive, and so we got everybody scheduled, and they were on board, and most of us toughed it out, the drummer. And I'll share this with you, because when you're rehearsing and you see each other on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or what have you, you become a family. And it leads me to what I'm going to share with you now. Just recently, we lost our drummer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's now deceased, and it was something that nobody foresaw. But the blessing behind it is we're tighter than ever. So now you talked about projects earlier, asked about projects. Now that pushes us to work on the projects that we knew we were supposed to be doing anyway. It's almost like we'll do something in honor of him, something in honor of our parents, So we're pushing.
So what kind of music are you guys?
We'll do an array of music. We do jazz, the R&B, the gospel, a little bit of salsa if we need to put that in there.
What about a little bit of trap music?
A little bit of trap music if they ask us for it. Depending on the venue and who's listening. But, we're called Lifted. So the goal is to lift standards or raise standards. So we want to make people feel good, but we also want to let them know that, we do represent Christ first, and we love music. We love music. So yeah, a little bit of trap, put it in there.
Okay, man of God.
Right.
So, like, we're talking about the different things that you do, and earlier you mentioned branding.
Right.
So, how important is branding? Because I think long gone are the days where you just did one thing.
Right.
And you got income from that one thing. So, how important is branding, and why should someone look into branding themselves?
Well, I think it's good because it's almost like you're, and I used this example a few weeks ago. We all have different marks, physical marks that are unique. We call them birthmarks, and I always say that's how God put his little tattoo or his stamp on us because we're so individual. So I think branding is very important because when people hear your brand or your name or the company that you're with, they associate it with everything under that umbrella. So Travis Reynard Moore. It shouldn't be Travis Reynard Moore, the actor. It should be Travis Reynard Moore, and this is what he comes with. You know what I mean? Or
right.
just the model, or just this person. Because you're right, so many people have so many giftings or so many talents, and they're just not one thing. You know what I mean? So I think it's important because it's a sum total of who you are. You know what I mean? On paper or without you speaking. You know what I mean?
And so, speaking of your gifting as a vocalist.
And it's so funny she's saying that, a vocalist, because I've never considered myself. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna really share this with you. So we're pulling a gig together one time, and I had vocalists in line to do it, and they were booked. It was double booked. So I said both of them, and I said, oh, man, we can't do it, or we may not be able to do it like I want to. And the band, the drummer actually at the time, he said, we got to do it, Trav. We got to do it. I said, no, listen, it's not, and I kept hearing them say that. He said, you can do it. And I said, oh my God, he wants me to sing? Not to say I won't, but I just didn't pinpoint myself as a vocalist at the time. So we did it. We did the entire, I think it was like a 30-minute set. Probably a few hundred people were there. They were so receptive. And I said, wait a minute, anything that's in you can come out. You just got to really recognize what's in you. And other people, a lot of times, fortunately and unfortunately, other people will see what's in you before you do, or can see what your potential sometimes. And I always tell people, that's why it's good to be around people with like minds, or people who are positive, because they'll speak things like I do with you. They'll speak things into your life,
Speak.
That you probably know they're there, but you just need somebody to stir it up a little bit. Get in there and pull some of those ingredients out.
Yeah.
So vocalists, I'll do it. It's not a problem at all.
Okay.
Listen, hold on now. Me.
Yeah, just give us a little bit of something.
Oh man, she's gonna put me on the spot. Can I have a peppermint or a cough drop?
What does the peppermint or cough drop do?
I think it's gonna solidify my voice a little bit. If you sing a little, we'll sing together. How
Oh
about
my
that?
goodness.
No, not gonna work. Okay. Go ahead.
What do you want to sing?
Anything you want, Miss Yaya. What do you want to sing?
And moving on.
All right, and moving on. There we go.
Oh gosh, so tell us how we can keep in touch with you, find out about what's going on in your life other than me lurking on Facebook.
Right. Well, you have my personal information now, but social media is great. Travis Reynard Moore, and that's Reynard for the middle name. Also, that's Facebook. Social media is via Instagram. I'm Travis Moore 1024. To book the band, we're Lifted, LIFTD. See, we left out the E. LIFTD.
Isn't there an apostrophe?
Right, it's apostrophe, but on Instagram you can't put the apostrophe there.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
There you go. Yeah, so it's LIFTD BAND, and that's Lifted Band. On Facebook, we're Lifted Musicians, so that's all together, and that's Lifted, LIFT @D space musicians. Or to email us, you can email us at liftedband@gmail.com or travismoore1024@yahoo.com. And those are ways to contact me. You have my personal cell number. You can call me anytime if you need me. Or if you don't,
I don't know if Miss Moore would like that. It will only be for business.
Right, it's for business.
Well, thanks for coming on the show today. I had an amazing time. You are crazy.
Hey, you are too. That's why I'm here.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and you heard how you can keep in touch with him, keep track of what's going on and the band, and hopefully we'll get a CD out next year in 2016.
Absolutely.
His first single.
Absolutely, we're gonna
called
push.
Travis.
Listen, I don't know the name yet, but I'll be on there.
Yeah. So thank you, and we will talk with you guys later.
Absolutely.
Yapanians, we had an awesome show today. We met with Travis Reynard Moore. We talked with him about all the things that he has going on. He's multi-talented. Not only is he an actor, he's a model, saxophonist, and vocalist. We talked about him branding himself, doing what he felt that he needed to do to get out there and maximize on the gifts that he has. And so I encourage you, Yapanians, if there is something that is inside of you that you feel is a gift that you could step out on faith and do, I encourage you to do that. Because if Travis had not done that, we wouldn't have him on the show. We wouldn't see him in all these ads and the movie that he talked about, The Present. Be sure you go out and get it and watch it. And so I will talk with you guys later. You have inside of you, it will come out and you will be able to do what you can. Oh, great. Okay, this is the final one. Okay, Travis, don't talk about me. Don't tell folks. Don't go out in the world and tell people about me. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yapanians, thank you for joining us. Oh no, that's not what I want to say. Yapanians. Y'all gotta help me. Okay. That was a fun interview.
Trap music.